Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah. I see all you got questions for Muslims, right?
If you really want to know about a Muslim,
you want to know about Ramadan and fasting and everything, why we wear the robes and everything? Okay, all right.
If you want to know about, what'd you say?
I'm going to tell you, and you.
Ask a Muslim.
Ask a Muslim.
Ask a Muslim.
Hi, my name is Shanika McCory, and I have a question to ask a Muslim. Muslim brothers, why, oh why, is it okay for you all to have 4 wives and our Muslim sisters are only allowed to have 1 husband? What's up with that?
Oh, you don't ask me that question. Oh, can we skip that one?
That's a hard question.
I see she knows a little something. She got...
Yeah, I knew this question was gonna have to come sooner or later.
Well, I personally am not a fan.
I don't see how any woman could want 4 husbands in the first place.
Believe me, most of us are happy to have just 1 husband. But, you know, men are a little bit different.
Well, the easy answer is because God said so. Yeah.
The bare facts are that in the Quran, God gives men the permission to marry up to 4 women at one time, right? With a series of stipulations around being fair to them both emotionally and financially.
And let me say this, that's not a requirement. It's merely an allowance.
Permissibility is not obligatory. Islam does not tell me that I must marry 4, 5 wives. But if I want to, I can. It doesn't prevent me from.
A lot of people look at it as, you know, like, oh, you can have 4 wives. But at the time that revelation came, that was a restriction. It wasn't an expansion. Because at the time the revelation came, a man could have as many wives as he wanted.
But don't try to put this on Muslims that we started this thing. We didn't start this. They've been having more than 1 woman forever and a day.
Even like if you look in the Bible, they talk about like Solomon, how many wives did he have?
And this is something like from the way of Abraham or from the way of Solomon or from the way of David or from the way of many, many other prophets in the Muslims and Christian scriptures.
I mean, there are a number of reasons why, you know, proponents of, you know, polygyny would, you know, cite for saying, well, it's because this, and a number of reasons why people that are against it would cite and say, you know, you shouldn't have it because this.
Allah says in the Quran, Al-Rijala Qawwamuna 'ala Nisa, that men are the maintainers and protectors of women, okay? And not vice versa.
Throughout history or in certain moments in time, there could be situations where, you know, the men or women will outnumber the men.
It's like right now, the circumstance we have right now, where you have more women than men.
And certainly in that time, you needed men to take on more than 1 wife so that all the women in the community would be cared for.
You can go in some neighborhoods, it's 6 to 1, male to female. And in fact, is it better to practice adultery?
You already have a phenomenon, even among non-Muslims, where it's very common that a man is actually having relations with many women. So people also offer the idea that at least it's better if it's done within marriage.
The funny thing is, like, if I was a person who I went to the club on a Friday night and I left with a girl and I went home and did whatever men and women do together, and then the next week I did it again, and the next week I did it again with different women, I would just be a regular guy. But if I want to maybe give the girl a sandwich and, you know, give her somewhere to live, you know, then it's like, what's wrong with you? You gonna pay her rent? Arrest that man, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so the object of having 4 wives is not for you to have 4 objects to satisfy your lust, but it's out of necessity in cases where women don't have anyone to support them.
So I can have as many sexual partners as I want and it's no problem. But if I want to like take care of that and the children are produced from it, to take care of that and to be responsible, somehow that runs into this moral ambiguous space.
And like reasons why women aren't allowed to have more than 1 husband, I mean, just to throw one out there,
in this day and time, it's a lot easier to determine, paternity. There was a time, when that'd be very difficult.
If you have 4 men,
And then she gets pregnant, well, whose child is
it? I mean, that could complicate things a bit,
Not only as a man, are you responsible for your wife, but you're also responsible for your children. Okay, so you need to know who your children are.
And the reality is, while there is polygamy in Muslim communities around the world, it's not, most Muslim couples are monogamous, right? Because it's really difficult to have multiple wives and multiple families.
I think that if it was practiced correctly, it could solve a lot of the social problems in the inner city today.
What's up with that?
Do Muslims believe in love? Well, what do you mean by love?
Love? Yeah, love, compassion, brotherhood. Love, you mean love to love somebody for the sake, you are my brother, I love you for the sake of God. I like what you do, you are an intellectual, or you're talking about loving a woman to marry or something.
Well, I know the kind of love you're talking about. Yeah, it's love. Yes, we do. You don't see all these kids running around here?
Oh, I'm a lover. That's my main thing.
That's how we call them babies.
Yes, Muslims believe in love.
American Muslims are like most Americans, right? Where we have these really probably unrealistic conceptions of love, right? And we're all looking for it and searching for it. But I also feel, and that's romantic love.
For us, for Muslims, this isn't secular, like this is all sacred, that love and love making and the coming together of the human beings, all of this is sacred.
And even the Quran says that that God has created mates of like nature, and he's created love between the two, love and sakina, or peace between the two. So we definitely believe that it's something that we can attain.
What the world needs now is not another love song.
Love also fluctuates. It is one thing to love a woman on the street and want to marry you, you're behaving like an angel, she's behaving like an angel, all of you are always like perfect. And we know that nobody is perfect. We're pretending that everything is good. And then once you get married, you started sleeping in the house. You said, oh my Lord, I didn't know that she is so bad. Oh, I didn't know that he is a mean person that I married. Then that is why you have to adjust. You learn what she loves and what she doesn't like. She learns what you love and what she didn't like. You compromise, you give and take. Otherwise, it's never going to work because you are two different people.
And then there's also the love between parents and their children, the love between friends, right? And the love between brothers and sisters in faith.
I learned to love since I become a Muslim. I mean, I already loved my parents, always loved my family, my brothers and sisters. I learned to love God. I learned to love God. And
so there are all these different types of love that Muslims experience. And so yeah, I would definitely say we believe in it, right? Because we feel it.
And it is probably my favorite thing in all of the life experience. So I'm a Muslim and I believe in love.